Welcome to Fictora Stories. Tonight, we enter a world of secrets, betrayal, and a love that was never supposed to happen. Amelia's world shattered the night she watched her father's lifeless body being carried away under the cold glow of palace lanterns. The royal family of Marvania called it an accident, but she knew the truth. Her father had been betrayed, trapped, and killed by the very people he served. From that night on, her heart locked itself behind walls of grief and vengeance. She lived only to survive. She trusted no one. She feared no one. And she believed no one, especially the royal family. Years passed, and Amelia grew into a strong, elegant woman, one whose eyes held storms. Pain had forged her into steel. She avoided relationships, friendship, even happiness, believing emotions only made you weak. And she refused to be weak ever again. Her only comfort was her mother, the quiet, rainy evenings, and her late father's diary. Meanwhile, the king of Marvania, growing older and weaker, faced a crisis. His only son, Prince Zaidan Malik Marvania, had to marry before his coronation. The kingdom needed a future queen. A fair one. A loyal one. But the prince himself wanted nothing to do with marriage. He was known everywhere as cold, ruthless, and emotionally detached. His preferences were simple: swords, horses, battles, and silence. Nothing else. And yet, destiny does what destiny must. One morning, Amelia received a golden letter sealed with the royal insignia. Her hands trembled, not with fear but with anger. It was an invitation, no, a command to come to the palace as a candidate for the prince's bride. The same palace that stole her father from her. Her mother, though shocked, encouraged her to go. "You deserve to be seen," she whispered. "You deserve to be heard." Amelia went, not for the proposal, but for answers. And perhaps, revenge. The first time Prince Zaidan saw her, he felt something unfamiliar stir inside him. He had met thousands of women, bold, elegant, rich, clever, but none with eyes like hers. Eyes that didn't care who he was. Eyes that didn't bow. Eyes that held fire and winter at the same time. He tried to intimidate her, but she didn't flinch. He tried to question her, but she answered calmly. He tried to ignore her, but he couldn't. Amelia, on the other hand, despised him instantly, not for who he was, but for what his family represented: power, betrayal, and loss. She planned to stay only a week, gather the truth about her father's death, and leave. But the prince's interest in her complicated everything. Zaidan's curiosity grew into fascination. His fascination grew into admiration. And his admiration grew into something deeper. Something he had never allowed himself to feel. Amelia noticed his attention but ignored it, which only made him chase harder. One night, during a palace event, Amelia overheard the mayor and the interior minister discussing her father's name. Her blood froze. They knew something. They feared something. They were hiding something, and soon they realized Amelia had heard them. Their panic confirmed everything. She returned to her room breathless and shaken. Zaidan found her there, trembling not out of fear, but out of fury. He tried to calm her, but she snapped at him. "Your palace, your people, your father. They took everything from me." He staggered back, stunned. For the first time, someone had blamed him for a crime he didn't even know existed. That night, for the first time in his life, Prince Zaidan couldn't sleep. He kept seeing Amelia's tear-filled eyes. The next morning, he confronted his father, the king, demanding answers. The king avoided him. The ministers lied. The nobles whispered. And the truth remained buried in shadows. Meanwhile, Amelia's presence inside the palace became a topic of envy among the high-class girls who assumed they would be chosen to marry the prince. They hated her innocence, her simplicity, her quiet strength, and most of all, the prince's attention toward her. Rumors spread, insults sharpened, and the palace halls turned poisonous. Yet Amelia stayed calm. She wasn't there to compete. She was there to uncover a truth that would free her mother, her father's honor, and her own soul. But feelings are complicated. Slowly, without her permission, Amelia began noticing the prince, to his sincerity, his loyalty, the gentleness he hid from the world. How he remembered the smallest details, how he treated her differently, how his cold eyes softened when she entered a room. Still, she refused to trust him, loving someone from a family that destroyed her own. Impossible, but destiny doesn't listen to logic. One day, while returning from the royal garden, Amelia was ambushed by masked men sent by the very ministers she suspected. They feared she knew too much. They attacked swiftly, but before they could harm her, Prince Xaden appeared like a storm, fighting them fiercely. He shielded her with his own body, bleeding from his arm, yet refusing to let her go. For the first time, Amelia saw the truth. For the first time, she realized Xaden was not her enemy. For the first time, she allowed herself to feel, as he collapsed against her, whispering, "I won't let anyone hurt you, ever." Her heart finally cracked open. After the attack, the palace was thrown into chaos. The king ordered an investigation. Xaden demanded justice. Amelia exposed every detail she had learned about her father's death. Those responsible panicked. The truth, buried for years, began to rise. But the road to justice was dangerous. The more she revealed, the more enemies she made. Xaden, desperate to protect her, insisted she stay inside the palace under his personal guard. She resisted at first, but his determination softened her walls. He wasn't just guarding her, he was choosing her. Over time, the cold prince melted. The girl who trusted no one began trusting him. Their silent conversations, lingering glances, accidental touches, everything changed. They became each other's impossible weakness. But the royal world wasn't done with them yet. The conspirators realized they needed to remove Amelia permanently before the truth reached the king. And so began the most dangerous chapter of her life, a chapter filled with politics, power, betrayal, and fear. Yet through every storm, Xaden stood by her side. Whether she accepted it or not, he was hers and she was his. Amelia's mission for justice became her journey to healing. Her broken heart began to beat again. Her lost soul found its home again. Not in the palace, not in revenge, but in the prince who was willing to burn the whole kingdom just to keep her safe. And this is only the beginning of their story. Thank you for joining us on this journey. For more tales of love, loss, and destiny, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Fictora Stories. We'll see you next time.